In this presentation, we will continue on with our comprehensive problem entering information into tax software related to taxes for a relatively low-income individual for student loan interest and educator expenses. For more accounting information and accounting courses, visit our website at accountinginstruction.info. Here we are on our test 1040. We have the single individual with two dependents at this time. If we then go to page 2, we see that we are currently at $23,000 total income. We've got the standard deduction $12,000, taxable income $11,900. So now we're talking about student loan interest, educator expenses, things that can be reducing possibly or be some type of deduction for taxes. These deductions are typically what's known as above the line deductions rather than Schedule A or itemized deductions, and they will go then on the Schedule 1. So if we go down to the Schedule 1, and we go down to not the additional income, but the adjustments, then adjustments to income. We have the educator expenses and we have the student loan. Let's start off with the student loan. The student loan interest will typically get a form documentation for the student loan, looking something like this, a 1098E, which will report the amount of information or amount of interest that was paid that may be deductible, and this is where it would then be deductible. So we got the student loan interest. We're going to jump to this. This is currently Lacerte tax software. You're going to have some different data input depending on the software, but this is where it will go on the return, and you'll have some type of input screen related to it. So we'll have the interest of 230. So we're going to say 230. We're going to go back to the forms and we'll see there's the 230 total, then 230. If we go back then to the form 1040 and we go to page 2, we'll see that there'll be a difference now between the taxable income, 23,900, and the adjusted gross income. So they don't even give the number between the two, but the difference between those two is from Schedule 1. And we can see that, of course, that difference is the 23,900 minus the 23,670, and that's going to be the 230 that we have just added. Now we'll go to the educator expenses, which will be in the same area. So we got the Schedule 1. We are on the adjustments. These would only be there for people that were like instructors. So if we have teachers, would have educator expenses. It's specific to a particular industry, and it's 250, so it's totally limited. So if we go here, we're going to say jump to this item, only qualified for qualified educators. And if we had anything like the costs such as books or supplies or things that we took out of our own pocket as educators, then for that particular industry, we get this adjustment, which is typically better than somewhere else up to the cap amount, because we can't, if we were able to, we can't do it. The new rules don't allow us to itemize even as much anymore. But if we were able to, W-2 employees don't have as much leeway to take the expenses out that they spend on themselves and usually get a deduction for it. So this is kind of a special deduction for educators, but it's highly limited to the 250. So if I put 300 here for qualified expenses, then we go to the form. We're going to say it's going to be limited to the 250. So now we have the 250. We got the 230. That's being the 480. That 480 we can see on the form 1040 then if we go to page 2, because it's going to be once again the difference between the 23,900 and the 23,400 total income and the adjusted gross income. So at this point in time, we've got the wages, we've got the tax expense or the interest, we've got the dividends, and then we have the gambling. And then that's the 23,900. Now we're working on those adjustments bringing it down above the line adjustments to 23,420. Then we have the standard deduction, 12,000, and that gives us the taxable income, 11,420. Then we have our credits. These are the credits that are going, or here's the actual tax calculation, 1,145, that being done by the computer. Then we've got the credits related to the student credits above credits, these being the ones that are going to take us down to 0. So we've got the credits taking us back down to 0. And then we have some credits that will actually take us below 0, that being the earned income credit, which is going to be calculated according to tables, typically dependent on software for that. And then the dependent credits here, the ones that are going to be taking us below 0. So that's going to be the 4,055. So in other words, here's our tax, credits bringing it down to 0. Then we had a withholding from our W-2, which is all going to come back to us now because we're not even owing any taxes. So we're going to get all the 921 back, plus we're going to get credits above and beyond what we paid in of the 4,055 for a total refund at this time, 4,976. For more accounting information and accounting courses, visit our website at accountinginstruction.info.